Hi, and welcome to this lecture about gradient descent in logistic regression. In the previous lecture, we introduced the cost function equation shown here. In this lecture, we will introduce gradient descent, which is the method used to learn the parameters w and b, which in turn minimizes the cost function. The cost function for logistic regression is a convex shape, which means it only has one global minima. To illustrate this, let us take a look at this graph. On the x and y axis respectively, we see w and b. This is a convex shape, and the lowest part of the shape is known as the global minima, which represents the least cost function, that is, the optimal value for w and b. So the question is, how do we initialize the gradient descent to calculate the value of w and b? First, we initialize w and b with a random value. Usually, it is 0. Second, we add a learning step that calculates how much this value moves. If the learning step is too small, it will take forever to reach the global minima. If the step is too big, it might never reach the global minima, jumping around like that. Therefore, tuning the learning rate in itself is a field. We update the value of w and b at the rate of alpha until we reach the bottom, or until it converges, finding the global minima. To best illustrate this, let us look at the following equation. The equation to find w is as follows. The learning rate, which I described earlier, is right here, and that is the learning rate. And this here is the partial derivative of w, which is the change of w, and controls the movement in the slope. The outcome of this equation is how much the function slopes in the w direction. So we have a w value over here, and usually the learning rate can be something so minimal like that. And here is the change in the side of w. So let's say the change is 0.05, and when we multiply it by here, we get a value of w. That is right here. When it starts changing from negative to positive, that is one way where we know we're going away from the minimum. Otherwise, the difference in the loss function is getting bigger. Similarly, the equation to find b is the same. The outcome is how much the function slopes in the b direction. Again, we have the learning rate, and this slopes in the direction of b. As you can see here, this slopes in the direction of w, and the difference, of course, is in the initialized value. This is also known as a partial derivative up here, since j is a function of two variables. If you have any questions, please leave it at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you.